I'm really hoping it doesn't rain all day. I was supposed to barbecue later this afternoon or into the evening, but I am hoping that this kind of midday rain will cool it off a little bit.
Well, it's hot outside. I think tomorrow it's supposed to be 108. Today it wasn't quite as bad, but it's still miserable.
So miserable.
One of my brothers was supposed to come over for dinner, but unfortunately stepped out into the sun without protection and his whiskers burst into flames. But, that happens. We'll get through it.
Okay. I'm through it.
All right. All right.
I'm through it.
You're through it?
Mhm.
Besides just ultra hot weather, there are numerous times where you're just unable to barbecue. It could be the heat, it could be the humidity, it could be the wind. That's a big factor.
Especially where we are.
Oh, absolutely. Could be raining. I think we've heard from commenters that they wanted to go out and barbecue after watching an episode and couldn't because it was pouring rain.
Maybe time is a factor.
Time could be a factor, absolutely. We've talked about that in the steak episode where you don't have all day for a cook, right? So you got to put something together quicker. When you have a combination of these kinds of elements, maybe the best thing you can do is try to throw together a little barbecue flavor in the kitchen. We're going to show you how to do that today. We're going to deep fry a chicken, and then we're going to make up a mop barbecue sauce that you can just soak it in. So all of that delicious fried chicken nooks and crannies, apparatus on each piece of bird becomes an awesome vessel for barbecue sauce.
And the Colonel needed 7. We only need 3. Secret spices.
Yes.
But they're not going to be secret, because I'm going to tell you what they are.
And also, we are using no men named Herb. I don't even know a Herb.
Peaches and Herb?
I don't know him.
Oh.
In addition to our barbecued fried chicken, we're also going to kind of assemble the rest of a meal. It'll be a pretty fun little evening celebration.
And it's all in the house, in the air conditioning, where you don't feel like you're going to melt.
We're actually doing dessert before dinner, but only because it has to be refrigerated. So we have assembled our ingredients as follows. We have 2 tubs of whipped cream. I'm using the extra creamy. We're only adding 1 at first, and then 2/3 cup peanut butter, as well as about 1/3 cup of powdered sugar, and then 1 package of cream cheese. Now I'm going to stir these together by hand to start, and that's just because when I use the beater, I don't really want all of that powdered sugar flying all over the kitchen. Now it's time for a beatdown in this bowl with the ingredients. I don't know what else you were thinking. We're going to mix this up until it's relatively creamy. It's still going to be pretty thick. We've got 1 more thing of whipped cream to add, which we're going to do via fold. We just want all the ingredients combined here. And here is our other tub of whipped cream. And as mentioned, we're going to fold it in. This gives it a creamier, lighter texture. I didn't do an exact count on the number of times I'm folding this. Generally speaking, for this kind of pie, they say it's about 40, but it kind of depends on the consistency of your ingredients. And once that's done, we've got a prepared pie crust here. I mean, you could make your own, but it's hot out, and we wanted a simple meal, so we're just going to fill this pie crust up with our filling, and then we'll spread it around to where it's relatively even, and it'll go in the fridge. This would probably be equally good as a frozen pie, but we're going to go ahead and cover it and put it in the fridge for the next, hour at a minimum. A couple hours would be even better. Now for our sauce, we're making what's often called a mop sauce. It's very thin, and we're going to use it to kind of toss the chicken in. To start, we're going to add a cup of balsamic vinegar, a cup of apple cider vinegar, and just give those a quick stir. One teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, about a teaspoon of hot sauce. Give those a stir. I always like to combine all my liquid ingredients. And then we're adding about a tablespoon of ketchup. Now, ketchup's not the star in this sauce. To that, we'll add about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and then about a teaspoon of salt. I'm using Lowry's here. And then a teaspoon of black pepper. You can go a little lighter on the black pepper. I'm also adding about a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I like the heat. We're just going to whisk this until it's combined. We're on kind of a medium-high heat. We're not really making a reduction here. We are going to boil off a bit of water, make it just slightly thicker, but not a 1/2 reduction. You always want to kind of give it a final taste here. Make sure it doesn't need anything. More sugar, more salt. You're always better going lighter on the seasonings to start, because you can always add more, but you can never take them back. And there is our completed mop sauce. We'll let this cool while we start to prepare the rest of the dishes.
We're going to start by separating the thigh from the leg. There's a little joint there. You just have to find it and slice right beside it. Easy peasy. We're going to start by filling 2 shallow pans with flour. We're going to add salt to both. Black pepper to both. And paprika to the one that we're about to add breadcrumbs. I'm using panko. Give the dry ingredients a good mix, and to the breadcrumbs mixture, we want it to kind of look like sand when it's done. Now we're going to beat up our eggs until they're nice and fluffy. And we're going to add a little bit of heavy whipping cream. Mixa, mixa, mixa. This method is going to be dry, wet, dry. So first into the flour, salt, and pepper. Coated all the way. Shake off excess. Dunk into the egg cream mixture. Make sure it's all nice and coated. Drain off excess right into the breadcrumbs mixture. I like to use a fork to coat everything around it. Rinse and repeat until all chicken is coated and set aside.
Like to let these rest on this rack for a little bit before we start cooking them. It just lets the topping adhere to the bird. No need for a fancy fryer. We use a Dutch oven, oil at 350, and cook the bird till a temperature of 160. Carryover will take care of the rest, and it's golden brown and delicious. And now we take our mop sauce, and we're just going to pour it in a large bowl. This is kind of like how you do hot wings, if you've ever done those before. So we've got a pretty thin sauce. We're not adding butter like we would with hot wings, although that probably would be pretty good. Got our sauce in the bowl. We add our chicken, and we're just going to kind of move it around in here until it soaks up a fair amount of this sauce. And then we'll set it aside and let it dry, and that makes for a delicious piece of chicken.
Well, I think that made for a pretty good dinner. Wasn't exactly barbecue, but it had a lot of the same flavor, texture, and was plenty juicy.
I love fried chicken. I love it. I grew up eating it with my granny. Only she didn't deep fry hers like we did. She did it in a skillet.
Essential.
She was old school, but to get the nooks and crannies of the crust, you gotta do a deep fry in a Dutch oven.
And the dry, wet, dry is an absolute must as well.
Yes, absolutely. And the sauce was killer.
Yeah, a little bit of heat, a little bit of the tang from the balsamic vinegar. You could do all sorts of sauces, but you really need to make sure it's thin because you don't want to ruin the texture of the, let's call it a bark, right? The skin on the chicken that you fried up. You want it to just kind of drench it, and then it'll dry for a minute, and I mean, it's like eating grilled chicken.
And I gotta be honest with you, on my second piece of chicken, because, I mean, let's face it, it's fried chicken. You gotta have two. I did leftover white sauce.
Yeah, that's right. We did have leftover
and
white
let me just tell you, it was amazing. Amazing.
We also dug back into the plum sauce. I mean, we just had a smorgasbord of sauces available to us. Oh, and also bonus pie.
Oh, the pie was outstanding.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, dinner, dessert, and we didn't completely roast cooking at all.
No,
So-
we better get back in because
Yeah, I'm
about
already
to melt.
I'm already drenched in sweat. We hope you've enjoyed what you saw here. Again, it's not outdoor barbecue, but we're kind of venturing into doing some more of these kitchen things, giving you smoke flavor or giving you, kind of that event type experience in your own kitchen. We may do more videos like this in the near future, especially as we're kind of going to start to eventually, I think, get to a time of year where it's cooler. We'll be doing some cold smoking videos coming up, a little bit more, talked about sausage making, talked about, those sorts of things. And we're also going to be approaching holiday season before too long.
And holidays mean baking.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs to know how to bake at least something. because you're going to get to the family Thanksgiving dinner, and then you're going to want cookies or they're going to want pie.
Yeah. You don't want to be the guy bringing napkins.
Or ice.
Yeah. Some people screw that up.
I mean...
We hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching Cold War Barbecue.